News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. Friday night, Chris Crock Show, 9:05 p.m. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Look at this. Stuart Varney with his British accent. Stuart Varney from Fox Business says Gen Z will struggle to achieve the American dream. It'll be much more difficult for Gen Z people. We heard from one of them, I believe, 35-year-old gentleman. That's Gen Z, right? I still don't know any of that stuff. I kind of have an idea, but to make the American dream compared to previous generations, it'll be much more difficult for them to make the American dream. He says the price of homes has gone straight up since Biden and Kamala, including the pandemic. Median home price for home is now well over $400,000. As you know, the day Kamala took office with Joe, mortgages were $1,700 average. Today, they're $3,300. You guys were so close. We're almost there. You just got to keep voting Democrat. We're so close. I can see it from right here. We're this close. Just keep voting Democrat. Kamala will finish this off. The last 4 years of policies that she and Joe have done are working. Man, she says it herself. It's true.
Bidenomics is working.
Meanwhile, most renters feel like they will never be able to own a home.
The typical starter home is now worth more than $1 million. For many buyers, that means achieving the American dream of owning a home is increasingly difficult, if not impossible.
And Bidenomics is working.
It is. And Kamalanomics is sure to please too. What else? The one policy she revealed has been destroyed by the left, and that is the price controls. And you know what? Here's what happened. Okay, this is yesterday. I was listening. I don't like Neil Cavuto at all because he hates Trump. He annoys me. I've told you just the isms that he does that annoy me. But I happened to catch something with him yesterday. I caught him with top economic advisor Gene Sperling for Kamala. And you might remember this. He does. What's his name? Neil Cavuto does not like Trump at all. I don't like him. I don't like him much before, but I really don't like him because he hates Trump and he pretends he doesn't hate him, but he does. And here's a guy who is like the super nicest guy in the world, Cavuto, and he has on Gene Sperling, who he says is his friend. We have him on all the time. And Gene Sperling literally obfuscates the whole time when Cavuto is trying to ask him your policy on price controls. And this is how that went yesterday, because the same thing happened today with Elizabeth Warren talking about price controls with CNBC. And those guys from Squawk Box are not going to be big Trump supporters at all. They're not going to be Trumpers, in my opinion. I don't watch Squawk Box normally, but CNBC is not a Trump network. It's not a conservative network. And they did the same thing with her. I'm like, I have to go through and pull little pieces of audio for this to show you. They literally can't even come on and lie about her policies. They have to just shut you down and yell over you, even when you are not a Trump supporter and you're friendly to them, indecent to them. Listen to this. Here is Labor Secretary. This is Gene Sperling on Cavuto yesterday, Kamala's top financial advisor.
Thank you, but you just made up stuff. You didn't listen to the words she said. What she said in that speech was, first, I will work with business to work for top American goals like affordable housing. She announced a new tax cut.
No, she talked about price gouging, Gene. That's what I'm talking about. She's saying, Gene, please just answer my question. She's talking about price gouging. I understand the other stuff you mentioned. Do you really think food companies are price?
Neil, we just heard.
Do you think food
Donald
companies
Trump
are price gouging?
It's unbelievable because it's so worse than that. It was unbelievable. Cavuto actually did a good job because he was just trying to be friendly and ask him a question. He wouldn't answer because he knew he's dead in the water. And then same thing today with Elizabeth Warren speaking for her. But first, let's go to your call. Questions are, what kind of new policies did you see Kamala share that'll fight inflation? Last night, what new policies did she share with you that'll fight inflation, fight high grocery prices, the cost of gas, and energy in your house? And do you feel Kamala is the actual arsonist who's now telling us that she'll put out the fire? She lit the freaking fire 4 years ago. She started the fire, and now she's like, you need to hire me to put out the fire that Joe and I started. What proof do you have that she'll get inflation under control, along with expensive insurance, housing, mortgage, groceries, other than making it worse with price fixing? And are you okay with Kamala refusing to do interviews and press conferences much, if at all? And what does that say about us if she does this and somehow wins? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Trey in Duncanville. Hi, WBAP.
Yes, sir. I was going to say, I think what you said about what Kamala wants to raise all these taxes and everything on unrealized gains, that just makes it more imperative and more important that we have a Republican House and Senate. That way they can block her, because all tax policy begins in the House Ways and Means Committee, and then they go to the conference in the Senate. So I just think that if unfortunately we're stuck with Kamala, if we have a Republican controlled Congress, that will put the brakes on her.
No, there's a chance that if she gets high enough in there, they could sweep the Senate and the House, and then they will literally turn the Supreme Court into a House of Lords, a political body, and they will do government health care for everybody. They will give all these illegals amnesty that they flooded us in with 10 to 12 million illegals, plus 2 million gotaways. We don't even know who they are. They didn't want to be caught because they're rapists, terrorists, gangbangers, murderers, or whatever. And no, I mean, they're going to shove everything through. They're going to make Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. states. We'll have 52 states. So it's going to be a Democrat supermajority. It'll never go back. It'll always be a Democrat. We're going to become a Democrat socialist country, period.
Well, that's assuming that the Democrats get control of Congress, in which we don't know, and the Republicans are favored to win the Senate.
Yeah, but that changed. That changed a week or two ago after Joe left. That was one of the biggest reasons why they also dropped him. Like we can't. We're going to lose the House, the Senate, and the presidency is what they figured out. They found out. That's why they had to get rid of him. They were going to lose everything. That changed.
Well, I'm not a firm believer in these polls. They change from time to time, depending upon circumstance. And I'm just not convinced that Kamala's going to win Michigan. I think you're going to see a lot of Arab Americans stay home, and I think you're going to see a lot of Jews stay home in Pennsylvania for the way the governor was treated. I just think it's really iffy. I think she's just kind of still on the honeymoon, and eventually I think it will fade. Dukakis was ahead by 18 points in August.
Yes, that's exactly right. The Dukakis was up 18 points by now, and he obviously, nobody knows who he is unless they were following politics loosely back then. The other thing is, I'm watching, this is brilliant. The RFK, I told you this yesterday night, I don't know if you caught it, but RFK Jr. And Trump whizzed in Kamala's Cheerios for her bounce afterwards. She might get a bounce afterwards a little bit, which is normal, but they literally stole the headlines away. Right now, fake news CNN, and I saw them do their open at 9 p.m. here just a few minutes ago, at 9 o'clock at the top of the hour, and it was RFK Jr. and Trump first. They stole the freaking headlines with this today, and that was intentional. The timing was intentional. They have thwarted and blunted her momentum a lot by doing this today. That is very good. And here's the thing. I mentioned it yesterday, Trey, that this is a Jenga candidacy. She's a Jenga candidacy. The game Jenga, you pull out one at a time with those little blocks or whatever, and eventually it collapses. And she is one mistake away, one bad interview away, one issue away from the whole thing collapsing and not being able to get back unless she does more and more interviews and speeches that are spontaneous and press conferences, and that'll sink her heavily. She might be able to get by one or two moderately decently, but she's going to flop so bad on some of these that she will have to do if she starts to fall apart, and that's where I think she is. I think the things have changed slightly today for the better for us, and I think that's good. I think this is made even tighter than the tick race and even slightly in our favor today.
Well, I'm going to leave you with an old Roman warning. All glory is fleeting.
Yes, I like that, my friend. All glory is fleeting. Thank you, Trey. Appreciate your call.
It's from the movie Patton, the last scene.
There you go. Thank you, brother. All right, 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Next, you're going to hear at 16 after the hour, you're going to hear another official that's speaking on behalf of and defending Kamala's policies, Elizabeth Warren, and a 6-minute guest interview on CNBC, which is not, CNBC is not a right-leaning organization. If anything, they're left-leaning. Elizabeth Warren defending Kamala's policies today. And they do the same thing you just heard earlier this segment with Gene Sperling, her top economic advisor, Kamala's. They interrupt, they talk over, and they say it's not true. And they're totally lying. And these people that are apolitical are just refusing to stop because, like, dude, you're not even letting me ask the question. You're not even letting me tell you why you're wrong. And they're saying, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. It's amazing. That's one policy they can't even defend. And just let it go where you talk, they talk, you talk. And again, these are friendlies for Kamala, not people that are trying out to get her. They're just regular, kind, normal people that aren't gotcha people or right-wingers. And it's profound. The first two major interviews I've heard on Fox and CNBC with people who don't like Trump, and they won't let him talk. The Kamala representatives will not let the interviewer talk. It's profound. I'll play that next one next. I'm asking you these questions. Chime in right now. Lines wide open for you. 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. What new policies did Kamala share last night that'll fight inflation? And high grocery prices, cost of gas and energy for your home. And do you feel Kamala is the arsonist who's now telling us she'll put out the fire of inflation? And what proof do you have that shows that she'll actually get inflation under control, along with all this expensive insurance, housing, mortgage, and groceries? And are you okay with Kamala literally refusing to do interviews and press conferences much, if at all? And what does that say about us if we vote her in and we make her the president? Stunning to think about. So you're going to hear that audio on Pocahontas on behalf of Kamala on Squawk Box this morning on CNN. You're also going to hear Kamala's top representative explaining why she refuses to do interviews in a cocky way. That's coming up at 17 minutes after the hour on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
That's not just passing along costs.
Senator,
and that is a time in
that's
any
sophistry. Your example on craft. Your example on craft is even worse.
You finished first. In any of the states around the country, 37 states that currently have price gouging laws.
Just quickly on that point, Senator Warren, this is Kelly here. Can I just clarify how this would work?
This is the way you never lose an argument because no one can ever say anything back to you, Senator.
The state price gouging laws take.
Isn't that amazing? You heard Cavuto in the last segment. Top economic advisor Gene Sperling for Kamala was doing the same thing to Cavuto, who hates Trump, from what I can tell. And he was trying to ask him how these price controls, how would it work? You know, because it's a joke. Nobody likes it. That's Kamala's first major policy. That's who she is: a socialist, a Marxist. That's what Venezuela is. And then today, Elizabeth Warren was asked about that, and she did the same thing. Now, on Squawk Box, that's a guy named Joe. I didn't know his name, but I looked it up here. Joe Kernan. And, dude, that was 18 minutes. The interview was supposed to be 6, and all she did was argue and say he was wrong, and he didn't know what he's talking about. He's literally like, what? So you hear what he said there. So this is how you win your argument. You don't let us talk. He's a freaking apolitical business dude. I'm sure he doesn't like Trump. And then you got the same thing with Cavuto yesterday with her top economic advisor. These people it's amazing. They cannot answer the questions and respond to the truth or anything because their policies are so bad. So they have to lie and shut you down. But that's two people in 2 days in a row. It blows me away, this little brain of mine away. Our questions I have for you at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. We got 4 lines open. Chime in right now. What new policies did Kamala share that'll fight inflation, high grocery prices, the cost of gas and energy for your home last night? I heard nothing. I heard that she's doing the same thing that she's done for 4 years with Joe. The same of what she's been doing. And do you feel Kamala is the arsonist who's now telling us she'll put out the fire regarding inflation? And what proof do you have that shows she'll actually get inflation under control, along with expensive insurance, housing, mortgage, groceries that she and Joe have made so expensive? And are you okay with Kamala refusing to do interviews and press conferences much, if at all? And what does that say about us if she does this? It hides and wins. 800-288-WBAP is our number. Justin in Minneapolis, where I used to do a talk show for 2 years in the early 2000s. How are you, my friend, and welcome to the show. What's up, WBAP?
Good. Yeah, we talked about the governor the other week when I was in Texas.
There you go.
I was talking to your screener about, I really think that, I know, you were kind of down on it the other week, like, we might lose this and, maybe even big. But I don't know. I really think the RFK think today is definitely a turning point. That's for sure.
Yes.
And not that we weren't doing well, because again, I know you're not big on the personal, like Trump going after everybody personally, and really neither am I. But that's kind of his style. You'll change that to an extent, but and he did win the first time with that too. But as far as this is concerned with Kamala, I think it's really death by 1,000 cuts. And you're finding a couple cuts today with this.
Yes.
If she's not going to go out and do interviews, and she's going to put surrogates out there who are usually more well-spoken, and they get crucified like that on places that really aren't friendly to Trump either.
Right.
I mean, that says a lot. And,
let me play this for you. Well, go ahead. Go. You're on a roll. So go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, I think at the end of the day, the Neil Cavutos of the world, these guys on CNBC, again, these guys are business guys. And as much as they don't like Trump, I promise you, I'm confident I know who they're going to be pulling the lever for.
Yeah.
They'll never admit it.
Or they just won't pull it.
They know this stuff is suicide to the economy and probably our country.
Let me play this for you because this totally complements what you were saying, what I've been saying. This is Kamala's campaign manager. Deputy campaign manager today on Friendly Fire, like MSNBC, where they kiss her butt and praise her and worship her. And here's them asking, she going to just hide from campaign? When's she going to finally stop hiding? Here we go.
When will she sit down with media in a one-on-one capacity and answer our questions?
I think she'll sit down on her time.
Yeah, there's no whatever. She doesn't need to. She won't. We're plebes. We're peasants, and we're a nuisance. We're mosquitoes. Go away.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Again, as much as they complain about Trump and everything that the media's got on him, he's ratings gold for them. They know at the minimum he'll talk to them pretty much any time. He'll talk to them on the way up to the helicopter. He'll talk to them on the way of the plane. He'll talk to them on the plane. He'll talk to them as much as they want, and they're not going to get that from her. Even I think if she was in the White House, it's going to be a lot like Joe and even worse, because they know if they put her in front of a camera, she's going to fall apart in word salad city.
Yes. And her reason is not that she's mentally feeble and cognitively impaired. Her reason is because she literally cannot speak well extemporaneously at all. It's a disaster. Justin, thanks for your great call. Please keep it up. You're a wonderful caller. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Next, we're going to twist and turn into something similar but not the same. A top Kamala campaign official. This is what's really, really, really crazy. Remember how Beyonce was supposed to be there last night? Turns out a top Kamala campaign official was the one who made it all up, lied. And I want to tell you, I know exactly why they did this. It has everything to do with something. I cannot wait to tell you why did her campaign create a lie that Beyonce was performing and was going to be there. Why? It was all put together, lying for a reason. Next, at 33 after the hour, 9:33 on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM 93.3.
There are rumors that Beyonce might make an appearance. I personally think that that's true, but we shall see.
There are. Oh, we're going to say this now. Can I say this?
Well, let's couch it in rumors and rumbling.
Okay, let's just say. So, I mean, that's out there. The Beyonce talk.
You have to stay tuned, but I have it on really good word. The Beehive is buzzing right now because the preparation for the Beehive, it has to start early. Sources come from backstage. That's all I'll tell you.
Okay. TMZ and The Hill reporting that she will indeed be making a surprise performance on stage here.
Congressman was just dancing along, and he's excited that he's hearing rumors, which a donor confirmed to me that she's also hearing that Beyonce is en route.
It's all a lie. It all was a lie. And the lie was planted by none other than Kamala, the Kamala campaign. It was Kamala's senior political director and strategist. This came from the top of her campaign, which means Kamala knew they were going to say this. She knew that they were going to lie. She chose to let them, on her behest, lie to the American people. Why? Why do you think one of Kamala's top campaign officials, Again, her senior political director and strategist. That's basically, I'm sure she reports directly to Kamala. That's as high as it gets. Senior political director and strategist. Emmy Ruiz was behind the rumors that Beyonce was going to show up at the DNC. They tricked people into watching for a ratings boost and then joked about it. That is exactly what I think. There was a 22% increase in viewership last night from Trump's fourth night. How do you get that kind of viewership? By saying that Beyonce will show up. By also lying and saying that the Chiefs' Travis Kelce was going to show up. And by hinting that maybe Taylor Swift would show up. Every one of them knew there was no Taylor Swift, no Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce had a preseason game last night. He's going to leave a preseason game to show up at the DNC and hump Kamala's leg? No. So they lied. Kamala's campaign lied to us to get us to watch, knowing that it would boost her ratings because she needs to lie to you to get her to win. She cannot win on the truth, so she lies. Somebody told TMZ that Beyonce would be a surprise guest at Thursday night's Democrat convention just prior to Kamala's big speech. See, they planted it. What does that mean? Get them to watch. And look at her. Oh, she's pro-America. She had American flags. USA, they're chanting it. She's a moderate. Oh, my gosh, I'm voting for her. Where's Beyonce? But this speech is great. Oh, my gosh, I don't care about politics. Oh, my gosh, Beyonce's coming. They lie to you. And they use star power to get you to watch them. Here's my questions for you at 800-288-WBAP. That's 800-288-9227. Why do you think one of Kamala's top campaign officials falsely claimed Beyonce was going to be on the DNC last night? What does that tell you about Kamala and her campaign? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Chime in right now. Line's wide open. We got more than enough time to pop you on. We got 5-6 minutes. So here's the ratings just in from Mediaite, a leftist outlet. Kamala's beats Donald Trump acceptance speech by 22%. Well, there you go. Look, she's a hero. Trump didn't lie about some mega celebrity showing up or multiple mega celebrities showing up. Kamala did. So that's pretty amazing. It really is amazing. I wonder how you feel about that. Are you okay with them having her campaign managers lie to you that mega celebrities are going to show up at her event knowing that they were not going to show up at all? They just wanted to get you to watch, and they announce it right before Kamala speaks? Isn't that amazing? That's amazing. This campaign is like freaking filthy, man. They're nasty. I have never seen something like this done, have you? Just a total massive freaking lie to hype it up and get you to look, and then there's nothing. Bait and switch. I mean, that literally. I mean, if a bait and switch is not okay with when you're going to buy shoes or a product at a store, it's even there's laws against bait and switch. You know that. But Kamala does it, and there's nothing wrong with it, right? No, and these people were made to look like they had their faces used like urinal cakes last night. Gayle King and all these other leg humpers that I played you the audio of. Nora O'Donnell. I don't know, actually, I don't know if she was one of them. But anyway, she was saying, well, there's a game tonight. Don't worry. Kamala's people told us this is going to happen. And you heard Gayle King saying it came from backstage. Who's backstage at the DNC? Kamala's ready to go speak in a moment. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Why do you think one of Kamala's top campaign officials lied and said Beyonce was going to be at the DNC last night, right before she was speaking? Kamala was speaking. And what does that tell you about Kamala and her campaign? 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. This is as dirty as it gets and as false and as over-the-top lying as it gets to me. It's simple, it's direct, and it's embarrassing to me that they did this, and it's bad. Here's my favorite headline from today. It comes from the Babylon Bee. You know, the comedy website. I will fix things if you vote me into office, says woman currently in office. I'll repeat the Babylon Bee's headline. I will fix things if you vote me into office, says the woman who is currently in office. Hey, if you vote me in for president, I'll fix things. Of course, she's in right now as vice president. She's the second most powerful person in the world. And she needs you to vote for her because she can fix this. She is the arsonist that lit this fire. So she lights the fire and stands back and goes, I can help you fix that fire. Really? How about you just don't light the fire? Get out of here. You lit it. You put the gasoline out there and then you lit the match and lit the fire. And now you're telling me you're going to put out the fire. Am I a horse's ass? No. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. The Babylon Bee saying the presidential race reached a new level of intensity this week as the woman who's currently in office has been serving in the second most powerful position in the world, vowed to fix things if people vote her into office. She says, I just need 4 more years of what I've been doing to finish it off. Which is kind of like me when I mock and joke, mock the Democrats and say, we're almost there, guys. You just keep voting Democrat. We're so close. We're so close. Hey, I did promise to play you or tell you what the polling is on Texas with Trump. Right now, with RFK Jr., RFK Jr. had 5% of likely Texas voters. So they're gone. And he said, I want you for Trump. I want you to vote for Trump a little while ago. Well, with RFK Jr. on the ballot, it's 49.5 for Trump over Kamala, 44.6. So about a 4-point advantage. And if once RFK Jr. leaves, this University of Houston poll suggests that Trump will be at about 51.5%, which would be 7 points over Kamala in Texas. Comfortable defeat in Texas. Oh my gosh! Did you hear Donald J. Trump on the air last night with Fox News, and then they cut him off and said we got to go. And so he decided to call back Greg Gutfeld minutes later and go on Greg Gutfeld's show on the phone. Isn't that great? It's hysterical. Greg Gutfeld had no idea. You want me to pop him on real fast? Is it okay or no? Okay. David in Austin, Kansas, right? No, Austin, Texas. Hey, David. Sorry. I misread it. I misread that. Anyways, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Chris. I'm really concerned that the Kamala thing has become a fashion show. What was that star? Journey of the Stars or whatever, and don't realize that Kamala is likely not only going to, do what she does here, but she's the commander-in-chief of the American Armed Forces. That's scary, Chris. Come on.
Oh, it's the woman doesn't know anything about defense.
Show or what?
Yeah, it is. It's. Oh, and by the way, let me play this. This was mocked. This was played and mocked by what's his name from Daily Show. Hold on, see, John. What's his name? John Stewart, who does the Daily Show. Yeah, he does it like once a week now or something. Let me see if I can pull this up. I think I retweeted it. Yeah, here it is. This is great. Here we go. Here we go. Hold on. A little compilation.
I can feel the excitement in this arena. It's filled with energy and with joy.
The air of joy.
Joy. Joy. Joy.
We will be joyful warriors. The president of joy.
Let us choose joy.
And there's John Stewart was cringing and the audience going nuts as he mocks them. So,
Roxer, listen to this. You know that clip they've got Donald Trump.
Yes.
It sounds to me as if Donald Trump is the Lone Ranger. Donald Trump. Would that be one of the best frickin', that's the Demis calling Donald Trump.
That's great.
Each different voice. Remember that one?
Yeah. No, I don't. I never heard that one, but you're making me laugh just listening to you saying it.
Crockster, I'm Kyle's friend. I love you, bro.
Thank you.
Keep it going, bro.
Thank you.
Keep it going.
There he goes. He listened to me back in Atlanta, and there was a guy. Apparently we had a mutual friend back there at my old station in Atlanta. That's kind of funny. So he's in Austin. Good call, though. I appreciate him. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. I got an even better when Trump actually introduced RFK Jr. on the stage tonight. I'm going to play that for you. And coming up next, she's anti-cop. She's pro-criminal. She supports price controls at the grocery store. She supports the EV subsidy disasters. She supports radical leftist policies in grade schools, and so does Tim Walz, her wingman. And we're going to talk about that and ask you, hearing all the policies of Harris Walz, are you comfortable with where their presidency would take us? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. That is next at 9:49 on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. This is pretty amazing to see what Kamala did, the damage she did to the people of Minnesota with her bailout fund that she supported. And as a prosecutor, she should know better. The stories I am going to share with you in a second are horrifying and disgusting. And I'll share those with you in a second. But here's some of the things that Kamala stands for. Abolishing ICE. I can play you audio of this. If you have every one of these I read, I've got it in a nice little... It's on my Twitter feed. It's still pinned to the top. Abolishing ICE, decriminalizing illegals and their illegal crossings, defunding the police, mandatory gun buybacks, which is gun confiscations, nationalizing energy, banning fracking, banning offshore drilling, abolishing the filibuster so you can shove through anything if you have 51 majority of the Senate, supporting the Green New Deal. She actually co-sponsored that, ending private health insurance for all of us, giving free health care to all illegals, mass amnesty for all illegals, ending the death penalty, abolishing prisons, ending cash bail, ending mandatory minimum sentences, imposing carbon tax, child gender reassignment surgery, and hormone therapy, replacement therapy. And this was off the list, but I can play this one for you too. She supports. She actually she passed a law. She as Attorney General of California, she said we're going to pay for the man to have a sex change in prison. We're going to pay for that, and I'm going to put men in women's prisons if they say they're a woman. Some of which led to rapes. She's also responsible for Prop 47 in California, which says you can steal. She actually put on the ballot that it was like an anti-crime bill of some sort. It was the opposite. It said you can steal up to $950 and we won't do anything to you. Won't prosecute you. That has lit California on fire, according to pretty much everybody and their brother. They're looking to try to change that now, but she did that. That's who she is. My questions for you are, after hearing about the policies of Kamala Harris and Walz, I'll tell you about some of his policies that are insane, radical, leftist, St. George Floyd, blessed be his name, worship, and brainwashing of our children for radical leftist BLM stuff. But where do you think Kamala and Walz's policies, are you comfortable with where their presidency would take us with these policies? Are you comfortable with where they would take us as a country? And why do you think she refuses to share what her policies would be and is having anonymous people behind the scenes say she's changed on almost every one of her all of her policies? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. And I could not agree more with what Carl's about to say. Carl in Dallas. Hello, WBAP. What's up?
I think the de facto presidency would be Harris would be a fourth Obama term.
That's exactly right.
We're finding out what Obama really thinks. And really, Obama was the one that staged the coup. Obama was the one who put in his second willing avatar.
Mm-hmm,
I mean, he had one person that was basically very manipulatable and was, until he started to show some independence, and refused to go along with the Obama second team, in which case he was promptly threatened and had to leave. Now he's got, his second avatar, who anyone who's ever seen her in action realizes she's simply just carrying out what Obama really would like to do, and he's doing so without any political risk.
Correct. And here's the thing. Obama is much more of a radical leftist that we warned people about, 12 years ago. And you're seeing it unfold because this is the third term of his, and with Kamala and Biden, and this is the more of him who he really is rolling out this current term, and then next term is going to be even more radical leftist, and so it's brilliant what he's doing. It really is, and it'll continue to turn us into a socialist country, which is what he wants. Carl, brilliant analysis, my friend. Please keep calling, and I appreciate you. All right, thank you, and get those hinges lubricated, sir. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9. I've got two doors that need it, too. I can't figure out if I should use graphite or WD-40 because they're the heavy-duty hinges. I got to look that up. I can figure it out if I just look it up, but I'm too lazy. 800-288-WBAP is our number. Coming up next, I'm going to give you more of the policies, how bad they are, and then Thomas Sowell in a great column in the Wall Street Journal today. Republicans better get on the ball. They haven't made the case to Harris. The clock is ticking. Couldn't agree more.